I tripled my income as a registered nurse. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Nurse Katherine here. In today's video, I will be telling you how I tripled my income as a registered nurse. But before we get into today's video, please do not forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And of course, let's thank today's sponsor of today's video. Just kidding. I do not have a sponsor, so that is why it is even more important for you to like this video and hit the subscribe button. Other than that, let's get into today's video. We need to first go back to 2016 when I became a registered nurse. As a new grad, I started off making $26.10 an hour on a med-surg floor, and this was in Pennsylvania. So that was just under $50,000 I was making a year, which I thought was great at the time. Now, I did dabble into night shift a little bit in that time, which was a $2.50 differential. So then I started making $28.60 an hour. But that only lasted about 2 months because I was a zombie. Literally, guys, a zombie trying to work night shift. So then I went back to day shift, making $26.10 an hour. Now let's fast forward a little bit. Shortly after that time frame, I leveled up as an RN. After 6 months, I went from an RN1 to an RN2. That is one big way nurses can make more money in your career or in their careers by leveling up to the next level RN. Not all facilities allow this or do this, but most facilities do. And when you level up, most facilities say, hey, here's a pay increase with that, because there are more responsibilities and there's more to be done that makes you that next level RN. So like I said, I started as a 1, then leveled up to a 2, and that was a 5% pay increase. So now I'm making $27.40 an hour instead of $26.10 an hour. So here I am as an RN2. Then I became an RN3. As an RN3, that included more projects and more education that I needed to do for my fellow nurses to become that RN3. With the RN3, that again was another 5% pay increase. So now I'm making over $30 an hour with that 5% pay increase and those little increases here and there for inflation. But really, it never kept up with inflation. Now you may be asking, how the heck did you triple your income? Because this math is not adding up. Well, bear with me, I am getting there. Like I said, as an RN, I have realized that my pay, our pay, I don't know about your pay, has not kept up with inflation since I became an RN in 2016. I used to think back to when I was a new grad, I'm like, I am making so much money. And yes, it was, but in a way, it wasn't as well. Now, do not get me wrong, I am very thankful for the pay that I have received over the years. But it's not keeping up with American economics, really just inflation. Now, I am a firm believer in the Bible, and it says a borrower is a slave to the lender. So I did not want to be a slave to the lender of my student loans. I did not want to be a slave to Navient. I was going to work to pay off my debt. I was going to work to pay off Navient. So I was literally a slave to Navient. But let me not get sidetracked. Let me keep going. After an RN3, I became an RN4, which was a 7% pay increase. At this point in my nursing career, that was in 2020. I was then making $36.25 an hour. Now, this still is not how I tripled my income, though. In the last 9 months of my career, just these last 9 months, that is when I tripled my income. Some of you may know how I did that, but some of you may not. So here is the story of how I tripled my income as a registered nurse. In July of 2021, I faced some circumstances with my employer that did not make me feel comfortable and that I did not agree with. So I quit my job. And at that point, I was making $36.25 an hour. It was at that point when I heard about local travel nursing. I've heard of travel nursing. I worked in it. I had coworkers quitting left and right to get into travel nursing, but I never heard of local travel nursing. So a friend of mine told me all about it. She was doing local travel nursing. So I applied and I got a job like that. Like, it was so incredibly fast that I found a job. So here I was 5 years into my nursing career that I started off making $26.10 an hour. quit my job at $36.25 an hour. Yes, and then my first travel nurse contract was $112 an hour. $112 an hour compared to $26.10 an hour doing the exact same job. I went right back to med-surg nursing. Now I'm currently still working as a local travel nurse. I am not making that $112 an hour anymore. I currently am making $75 an hour with a $518 food stipend a week. That first travel nurse contract I took for 12 weeks making $112 an hour brought me at making just under $50,000 in 12 weeks. That is how much I was making as a new grad nurse in an entire year. And now currently I'm making just under $40,000 in a 12-week span. So just 1 year ago, when I was working as an outpatient nurse, I was making about $68,000 a year. This year, I am on track to make just over $150,000 this year. And during my time this year, I have taken break in between contracts, and that $150 is if I keep going and I don't take any more breaks. I do plan to take 2 months off this year, the rest of this year, but I am on track, if I would take no more breaks, to make over $150,000 this year. There are so many ways to increase your pay as a registered nurse, but not many of them, and I would argue almost nothing else would allow you to increase your pay like travel nursing, unless you would go back to school, which normally includes taking on more debt if you plan to do it the debting way, or if you pay for it out of pocket. Travel nursing, you can just go into it and make that money right away. So everyone, that is how I tripled my income as a registered nurse. What are your thoughts on this? What are your thoughts on this process of mine that I have gone on in this last 6 years of my career? If you have any questions, please comment below. I would love to hear from you, and I love to answer questions. Other than that, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and hit that little notification bell. But that is it for today. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video. See you guys.